Massa taters in the morning, and it is Taters Tuesday. After crossing the Hudson River yesterday, we had a thunderstorm coming in, and so we set up just in time to get out of the rain. Had some wine, watched a couple episodes of Firefly, very cozy night. It did continue to rain kind of lightly all night long, and it'd be nice if it would stop around now, but whether it does or not, we should probably get walking soon. Get on to the Appalachian Trail Market, just a couple miles up the trail. That's our resupply stop today. Then after that, we just have some mellow moseying along ridge lines.
There's not enough energy today.
There should be more coffee at the Appalachian Trail Market too.
Still insufficient coffee.
What's for breakfast?
The slugs are back. Once again, slugs everywhere. It's just like New Jersey. Okay, after a good 10 minutes of packing away the tent combined with slug removal, we are getting moving, and everything is slimy. Slugs are just absolutely everywhere this morning. Handles of my hiking poles and everything is just covered in a layer of slime. So these headphones you always see me and Taters wearing are the Apple earbud pack-in variety. They're the most durable ones I found, and they have a lightning port, so they work straight into the iPhone without an adapter. Unfortunately, while they are the most durable that I've found, they aren't indestructible. Once I dumped this end in a cup of wine by accident, and that just completely fried them. And I had a pair go bad in the last week. And I'm pretty sure it's just the humidity. You know, everything's sticky, everything's humid, and we never get a break. So they only cost about 20 bucks. Pain in the butt is we have to have them mailed, and we just had one mailed a few weeks ago, so now we've got to do the same thing to Barrington. On the PCT last year, people had these lasting for the entirety of the trail. I think I used 2 pairs because eventually the wire just gets stressed enough where one of the earbuds stopped playing. I have tried some of the ones sold as like runner's headphones and other options. And like I said, they just never lasted as long as these do. Most of them cost more also. I have experimented using Bluetooth headphones. I have some AirPods that I actually like, but you know, it's too risky. Imagine in the Florida swamp where I'm walking over all that water. You know, one's gonna go into the water and you're just gonna be done. And also, it's one more device I have to keep charged. Right now, I have to keep the phone, the headlamp, and the inReach. And that's it. And the battery lets me do all that. If all of a sudden I've got Bluetooth headphones that only have a battery time of 4 or 5 hours, that's gonna be a pain. I have seen people use the AirPods, and I've talked to them about it. What they do is there's a mode where you can just use one. So they keep one in the case, which is a battery charger. And then they'll listen with one, and then when that one runs low, they swap it so they can listen pretty much as they want. But I hate having unbalanced sound. I have tinnitus, so I get paranoid sometimes about hearing loss and whatnot. So if all of a sudden this ear's really quiet or only this one's getting sound, that just bugs me. So more of these. And now I always carry a spare. Unfortunately, the spare that I had went to Blondie, so like I said, we get to order more. So it's raining just a bit and foggy just a bit. The weather report says basically the same thing. It's going to be somewhere between a 10 to 20% chance of rain, at least for the next day. But it's been moving all over the place. Yesterday was supposed to be a pretty hard storm during the day, and we ended up having sun for most of it. So who knows? Okay, Appalachian Market. I was promised a breakfast burrito and coffee, and apparently a lot of people based on the amount of cars here. I think the last time I managed to have a breakfast burrito was a McDonald's in Florida. This is lame.
All right, so on the Tasty Taters resupply review, this place gets 5 stars. A++. Don't let the size fool you. It looks like it's just a regular gas station mart, but inside they have packed so much goodness. Amazing hot food, a breakfast burrito that was actually up to Matt's standards, an awesome grilled eggplant veggie wrap for me, full resupply, nice people, reasonable prices, right on trail. Yeah, this is amazing. Why can't every convenience store be like this? Also, very rare praise from Masochist. He just said, quote, best decision we've made yet on trail, and even more rare, he said he's had enough coffee this morning.
No, I said I'd probably had enough coffee because the heart palpitations had started. But I'm fine, more coffee. I seriously would have zeroed at that place just so I could eat all the things for like 2 days. Okay, well, while we are going to be a little behind on mileage today based on the downtime around that market, good news is, per the weather report, the heavy rains this morning are done with, and it's just going to be dreary and humid. So we kind of find ourselves in the midst of a little massive hiker bubble here. There's got to be 20 people. Some are big families, some are individuals.
Thankfully, the fog and light rain cleared out by early afternoon, leaving us with about perfect hiking conditions. 70 degrees and overcast. Only minor annoyance now is that the plants are still wet. That means our socks and shoes and feet are probably going to be wet for most of today.
I am both super happy with how much coffee I've had today and kind of blah to be back in the green tunnel. I really like doing things like the zoo, the bridge, the rocks, anything different.
Darn it. I kind of wish they had used this as a COVID vaccination station this year. That would have appealed to my sense of irony. These berries have been all over the trail the last couple days, and they're okay. Definitely not as good as the blackberries or blueberries. They're a little bit sour. Aw. Poor soggy feet Masochist.
Getting eaten by mosquitoes. Trying to find a picture of Ashley Olsen with a machete that somebody said exists. Might be the machete mermaid.
This is basically the only snack bar that we haven't burned out on, despite eating them all last summer, and Matt's been eating them since January, I think.
This is one of those days that I just really struggle with. In the trees, so no real sense of progress, or, going over unique stuff with views. The moisture is so high, everything's soaking wet, and that tends to cause problems on my feet. So I can't really hit that zen hiking state where I'm just walking all day and the hours kind of fade away. Instead, it's kind of like, well, my feet are kind of uncomfortable, and no matter what I do, they can get worse at any point, and then the only option is going to be to stop short. So we can't even really just plan for our normal mileage. We're just having to go a couple of miles at a time and see how things develop.
So this is the kind of waterfall that makes me really happy. Masochist gave me a little bit of crap the other day for not being over the moon about Fitzgerald Falls. And that one was a bit taller, but it just didn't have the quantity of water. So I think for me, I don't really care that much about how tall the waterfall is, but I just love the rushing water and the way it kind of moves chaotically. Unfortunately, Masochist is having a really tough time today with his feet when they get soggy. He has a really tough time with abrasions and bruising. So I'm going to wait up for him here, and then we'll see how much farther he fills up to going today.
Mosquitoes have gotten quite a bit worse here.
This part of the trail rocks along the top of an old mining road. And while I really dislike the spam comments on Guthook, I'm totally okay with the humorous ones, such as the ones suggesting that northbound and southbound hikers engage in a jousting tournament on top of this road. We didn't end up getting any more rain after this morning, but since it was so humid, everything that was wet stayed wet all day. So we had to push through some discomforts around being a little bit soggy, some chafing issues, and foot abrasions, and ended up doing a 17.5 mile day. So perfectly respectable day considering the resupply in the morning. Masochist found us a nice little site tucked away from the trail by itself. We've got our own little spring right here, and we're overlooking Lake Canopus. which you can kind of see through the trees. Home sweet home for the night.
Camp Massatators in the morning. It has rained pretty much all night, no big surprise, so everything is still soaking wet, nothing is drying. I've been having a rough couple of days just with the humidity related issues. Unfortunately, because of where we are, there's not really good options. I'm overdue for a zero by a couple hundred miles at this point, but you know, the only option nearby here is Kent, and it looks like that's going to be like $200 a night hotel rooms. So we probably have to push on to Mount Barrington, which means days and days and days of this crap. We've got mosquitoes. We've got humidity that's so high that even though the sun's not out, everything is soaking wet and never dries. We have trees, so you can't see a damn thing, and never-ending drizzle. Okay, nothing like having to tape a road mark on the back of your heel 5 minutes out of camp. 94% humidity today, and it looks like thunderstorms and gusty winds are predicted for later in the day, and rain off and on. So unfortunately, kind of more of the same. Honestly, the big challenge out here really isn't the hiking. Hiking is just, you know, fitness and how much you're willing to suffer and throw into it. It's managing all those little indignities that come from being out here and camping day after day after day. You know, everything's wet and stinky and et cetera, et cetera. You can lessen that by spending a bunch of time in town, depending on the area. So that's Canopus Lake Beach down there. They did have hiker camping, but you know, those places usually cost money and they're kind of busy, so we decided just to camp. Also, another kind of sad marker, August 13th is when Taters is gonna have to fly out. She's already been with me about 6 weeks, so we got about another month hiking together till she has to get back and get the school year started. So today she booked her flight. She'll be flying out of Portland, Maine on the 13th of August. And at that point, it'll just be me booking it for Katahdin and beyond as quickly as I can. We're gonna have to figure out how she's gonna get to the airport, etc. But that sort of thing's kind of hard to do this early. Because, you know, in 4 weeks, we're gonna be another 400 or 500 miles on, hopefully.
Masochist finds me the coolest things. There is no way in 10 years I would have found this guy on my own. You see him?
Some of these shelters get downright fancy. So that's how humid it is. Awful lot of these rock walls around. Unfortunately, we are making kind of crap mileage today. My feet really aren't happy with how wet and sweaty they are, so that's kind of slowed us down. Okay, this is our fill up for the night, a little before 7. I'm in a lot of pain, just chafing and other issues related to all the heat and sweat and humidity. We're just trying to find a place for the night. So these are the second ones today that are just empty and full of trash. Only about 18 miles today, in between humidity, chafing, and mosquitoes. It's not my favorite day. Oh well, home sweet home for the night. And here we go again. Coffee time in the morning, Camp Massatators. We are focusing on my lovely face because the situation over here has gone full on frizz. It is downright scary. Mosquitoes are trapped in there, and oh God, and now she's gonna try and hit me. Anyway, coffee. Also, it's raining because. Okay, new plan, go into Fishkill, get a hotel because I can't seem to walk, wear pants, or hold a hiking pole right now. We do have a hotel. It is booked in Fishkill. However, getting a ride over there is proving to be a little bit of a challenge. So we're just sitting here getting eaten alive by mosquitoes and sweating in our rain gear. Fun times.